You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but don't be alarmed. Such things are going to happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, famine and earthquakes in various places. But this is only the beginning of birth pains. False prophet after false prophet due to the increase of wickedness. The love of most will grow cold. People will be selfish and lovers of selves. Good will be evil and evil will be considered good. Does this sound like what's going on in the world today? What would Neville Goddard say if he was alive in 2025? How would he tell each of us to react to the circumstances that are going on right now in the world? Every country has their own problems. Countries in Europe being watched like watchdogs, being jailed for posting their opinion on social media. Places in China having digital ID, so you can now get a ticket for jaywalking and it can go directly to your bank account. The infamous Israel-Palestine conflict. What would Neville Goddard say? It can be really easy to live in a state of fear about what is currently going on in the world. In America, we have the government shutdown, people losing jobs left and right, these constant men versus women battles in dating and relationships, the current political atmosphere, right versus left. You need to pick a side, and whatever side you pick, you're automatically the enemy. It is so easy to get wrapped up and to worry about the current state of the world. But you know what else is the world? The world that the news doesn't show. The world also is the world that I am living right now. When I look outside on this beautiful fall day, I don't see any crime around me. I don't hear any crime around me. All I hear is birds chirping. I see people walking to the park. I see people living their regular lives, going to do whatever their errands are, living peacefully, living the American dream. This is the world that I live in. I don't see people running around committing crime, stabbing each other, shooting each other. And while yes, that is happening in places, that is not the entire world. And I think this is a cogent point that if Neville Goddard were alive today, he would absolutely bring up to everybody. I believe if Neville Goddard was around, Neville Goddard would absolutely tell each and every one of us to guard our hearts, to guard our minds, because this in fact is in the Bible. Because it is so easy to turn on the news. It is so easy to get caught up in whatever negativity that the news leads with. Because what media does is it intentionally paints a picture that it wants each and every one of us to believe. And it was like this way for years until social media came into the picture. And now we can paint our own narrative and believe what we want to believe instead of believing what the news tells us is true. Because right now what media does is it's shining a spotlight on the stuff in the world that is the absolute most resistant in our lives. Whether it's protests, whether it's this Israel-Palestine conflict, telling you got to pick a side. And if you don't pick this side, then you're a piece of shit. You're the worst human being ever. It's telling you, yes, it's okay to break up with your family, to break up with your loved ones over politics. If they don't agree with you, screw them. And essentially, as a Neville might put it, because Neville was in the theater, it turns everything that's going on in the world into theater. The world is a theater. The world is a playground. You are experiencing it through your own eyes. However, it is you that gets to choose the music, whether you realize it or not. It is you that gets to choose how long you sit there and you entertain this opera, this play that you're watching on Broadway, unfold in real time, 24/7. It is you that gets to decide if you get sucked into the fear-mongering news lines that are reported. Because if you choose wrong, it'll ultimately have you believing that the world is such a terrible place. When in all actuality, in my opinion, the world is not a terrible place. But I think something we all have to pay attention to is the different worlds that we are all living in this one world. Because when I look around, as I said earlier, I see my world. I see the world that I live in. The world that I live in ain't nothing like the shit that I see on TV. Even in this country, the world that I live in ain't shit like I see on TV. The shit that I see going on in other cities, the shit that I see going on in other countries, none of that negative stuff is going on in my world. In fact, a lot of that negative stuff that you see on TV, none of that's going on in your world either. Even when you go on social media and you're scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through TikTok, you're getting thousands of different impressions, millions of different impressions. There's billions of people on this planet. We're all not living the same lives. We might be living on the same planet, but to say that the world is a terrible place just because certain things are going on in certain places, that's erroneous. I do understand terrible things are happening. I'm not trying to deny that fact at all. But what I am trying to bring to you is I'm trying to bring to you the perspective that Neville Goddard would shed light on if he was around in 2025. Because it is so easy to get fixed and sucked into this thought of that the world is such an evil, broken place. But you have a choice to take on that reality or not. Because like I said, for most of us, the world is not what's going on over in the Middle East. The world is not what's going on in China. The world is not what's going on in Europe. When you turn on the TV, when you turn on the news, they're not going to show where I'm at right now. They're not going to show these nice suburbs. They're not going to show the birds chirping. They're not going to show people going for walks at the park, people driving, people enjoying their day, people enjoying their Friday, people getting ready for the weekend, because there's no news ratings. There's no headlines for positive stories. You constantly hear sex sells. You constantly hear drama sells. There's truth behind that when there's a collective consciousness that has been growing for decades. People want the drama. They need the drama. They live and feed off of the drama. But me, I choose not to live in that world. I'm Mary J. Blige with it. I am not about the drama. I'm about the life that I live and the life that I create. And when I look around, all I see is a bunch of people around me, whether I know them, whether I don't know them. I don't see people going through a lot of the stuff that I see going on in the news. And you know what? Yes, absolutely. You can go ahead and maybe say, oh, Marv, that's your privilege. I totally get that 100%. You can say it's my privilege that I don't see those things that are negative where I live. You can say that I'm fortunate enough to never see people murdered and all of that type of stuff. But things happen all the time. And well-being is one of those things that happens all the time. But we never want to talk about the well-being because people get so sucked up into the negativity of what's going on in the world. If Neville Goddard were alive right now, he would tell you that there is plenty of hope in the world. There is plenty of grace and goodness in the world. Neville Goddard would tell you to focus on that. I have no doubt. Neville Goddard would absolutely tell you that you are okay. As Tim likes to say, you are already okay. You're okay right now, here in the present moment. You are safe. The problem is a lot of times you don't feel safe for whatever reason. You might scroll through TikTok, you might scroll through Instagram, watch the news, and then all of a sudden the news will make you feel unsafe about something that's happening 3,000 miles away from you or 6,000 miles away from you. And then all of a sudden your brain has convinced you, oh my God, I'm not safe. When in all actuality, you absolutely are safe. You're just telling yourself you're not safe. In this moment right now, you have no problem. In this moment right now, you are free in a sense. Whatever problems you are probably experiencing, it is probably because of what you are creating in your head. I said this in past videos. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it. The problem is most people think that they have a problem and they believe that they have a problem when they really don't have a problem. That's always been the piece. You get caught up in your thoughts, not understanding you can control them. The world is going to do what the world does. That's what Neville would say today. The world is going to do what the world does. It is up to you if you are going to get sucked in to the show, to the performance that the world is. It is on you if you're going to get sucked into what's happening 3,000 miles away from you. 4,000 miles away from you, 6,000 miles away from you. You control that. A lot of people think that, oh, if I worry about this, if I stress about this, then that means I'm a good person. And what that really means is you're taking on that internal state of fear and anxiety and worry. And ultimately what's going to end up happening is that's going to permeate through your life most likely. And that's going to end up coming your reality at some point. So what Neville would say, in my opinion, is Neville would say, you think you're a good person just because you worried about what's going on over in the Middle East, just because your heart aches, just because you do this or you do that, you think you're better than this person because you're showing that you care. What Neville would say is, how come this person over here is showing that they don't care, but this person over here is way better off and living a way better life than you are, the person that cares? We are not judged by our good deeds on the external. We are judged by our good deeds on the internal. This is why bad things happen to good people and why good things happen to bad people. It's because the world doesn't care. The universe doesn't care whether or not you feel a certain way. You think you're a good person on the outside, like, oh, I gotta care, I'm a good person, da 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 da. No, what you're sending to the universe is you're telling the universe, yo, you care way too much about what's going on in the world, so I'm going to give you more of that. And now you're stressed out, now you're anxious, now you're scared to do anything, you're scared to travel. Now I have you right where I want to have you, in fear. And that state of fear is exactly where you don't want to be. In my opinion, if Neville were alive today, Neville would tell you it is okay to care about what's going on in the world, but what's not okay is when you get energetically and emotionally attached to what's going on in the world, because now that is going to affect your reality. Now you are becoming what is going on in the world. Now you're potentially getting ready to act out in the 3D in a negative way, which could potentially cause you your freedom. And you don't want to do that because there are a lot of people that are probably depending on you and waiting for you to blossom into what you fully can become, reach your full potential. And these are the people, in my opinion, that become powerful manifestors. Is the people that can be faced with a problem, can be faced with the world, see what's going on in the world, see what's going on with jobs, see what's going on with relationships, see it and say, that is not going to be my reality. Because what happens is if you scroll enough on your social media devices, if you scroll enough or watch videos enough on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, these videos that you see, they will start to become your reality. You will start to take on the beliefs of these random strangers in the world that you are watching, whether it has to do with relationships, whether it has to do with jobs, whether it has to do with the government, and all of the above. Their beliefs will become your beliefs if you're not careful. So if Neville were alive in 2025, he would absolutely say, pay no mind to a lot of this stuff that's going on in the world. Do not concern yourself with what is going on in the world. Yes, you can help. Yes, you can donate. But energetically, on a frequency perspective, do not get attached. Do not get caught up. What do you think Abdullah did when Abdullah was alive during a time of racism? When he was told, you're black, you can't do X, Y, and Z, you shouldn't be here. Abdullah moved through life like racism didn't exist. If Neville Goddard were alive in 2025, Neville Goddard would tell you, move through life like racism doesn't exist. Move through life like discrimination doesn't exist. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're a minority. I don't care if you felt like you've been under attack over however many years. I don't care. It is you that is doing that to yourself with your mind and your emotions, your thought process. Whatever is going on in this world, let it be for other people except for you. Let it be for other people except for you and your loved ones. That's what Neville Goddard would say if he was alive in 2025. So when you hear about these wars and these rumors of wars, when you see people losing their jobs, when you see people in relationships struggling, people getting divorced, it can be real easy to take on these traumas that you're seeing. It can be real easy to have your heart melt and to feel for these people. It can be real easy to say the words, I feel bad. It can be real easy to get caught up in, oh, I'm a good person because I feel for this. I'm a good person because I choose this side and not that side, and that side is the enemy. But remember, the universe doesn't care about any of that decision making in the 3D. The universe only cares about one thing. How do you feel internally? What frequency are you resonating with internally? Because the honest truth is, the person that has no fucks to give, the person that moves through life with an attitude of indifference, I don't care, doesn't really matter, it is what it is. These are the people that typically manifest way faster and easier. Being a good person on the outside is not going to help you manifest faster if you feel like shit on the inside. And that's what most of you are operating at right now. You see what's going on in the world. You see what's going on with government. You see what's going on with relationships, and it's making you feel bad. You think because you feel bad, you're a good person. The universe don't give a fuck about that. If Neville were alive today, Neville would say, stop choosing sides. Stop saying this person is right and that person is wrong. Neville would say, elevate above all of it so that you can get on the same level of whatever it is that you desire. Because right and wrong is simply a matter of opinion. There's people that think killing is right. There's people that think killing is wrong. And while if you're really objective at this, a powerful manifestor understands that both sides are right. They are half truths, as some of the great texts read. They are not 100% truths. It's a matter of what side are you on. It's about how are you viewing life through what lens. Just because you think something is good doesn't mean somebody else thinks that same thing is good. Whether it's food, whether it's men, whether it's women, whether it's killing. People literally chant death to America, death to the West. They think that's okay. They think that's good. That's their belief. And they are strongly convicted about that. And what happens? They continue to reap what they sow in regards to that type of stuff because of how they feel internally. They are convicted. And that is exactly what's going to happen to most of us in other areas of our lives, whether we choose to get caught up in a lot of this stuff. See, this is the type of stuff that most people don't want to talk about. They don't want to go down this rabbit hole. They don't want to admit it. But I'm not afraid to have these conversations because the truth is what makes something good and evil depends on the person that you're talking to. We think, oh, if we think something is good, you're supposed to agree with me. If we think something is bad, you're supposed to agree with me. And that's not how life works. It's never been how life works. If Neville were alive today, Neville would say, I am that I am. You are that you are. If you choose to get caught up in this bullshit that's going on in the world, that's going to be your reality. If you choose to not get caught up in this bullshit that's going on in the world, that's also going to be your reality. If you choose to take on other beliefs, that's your prerogative. But whatever you choose wisely. There are plenty of people getting jobs. There are plenty of people getting hired. There is plenty of work still going around. There are plenty of people in healthy relationships. Plenty is everywhere. Are you focused on plenty? This is what Neville would say. Most of you aren't focused on plenty. Most of you aren't focused on abundance. Most of you are focused on lack. Most of you are focused on fear. Most of you are focused on doubt. 90+% of your day is around doubt, fear, anxiety. Oh, I'm too young. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm a woman. Oh, I'm Asian. I can't speak English. Oh, look at what's going on in the Middle East. The Israel-Palestine conflict. All limitations that are affecting your vibrational frequency, pulling you down, keeping you stuck. Everything in life is a choice. You have the choice. Are you going to let what's going on in the world affect you? Or are you going to rise above it and know that I am that I am?